down to is using your tank's bank. Some of it is using the ability to open the angle. You're not trying to like take a poke fight necessarily. Sometimes you are, but you're not necessarily trying to take your poke fight before before your tank is creating space. Like you want your tank to actually be a credible threat in there swinging, doing work, in there having jumped on them before you really expose yourself to danger, because there just isn't the resources, the attention to spend on you dealing damage if you're sort of opening that angle to do damage when your tank is in, right? Like if you're actually going for the weaving, not the I'm going for 6 shots before the fight starts, but like, no, maybe my first shot is a heal, but it can be a heal because my tank is in your face, or my tank is about to be in your face, so maybe my shot is damaged. But like, that shouldn't really give you trouble. Like we can definitely call it out, but if you sort of understand how it works, it's you could be getting poked out early, and if you're getting poked out early, it's probably a case of you're not letting your tanks do damage. Obviously, I'm gonna have to see it to know, but that's probably what's going on.
Okay. That makes sense. So do damage when it's at a time where they can't afford to look at me and do damage back.
Right. Because some of these guys are better at poke than you. Like, you don't really want to take a poke fight with a Hanzo. You want the Hanzo to have to be distracted by the fact that there's a monkey in his face, by the fact that he was shooting at your Reinhardt or whatever, and you went, nah, I'm going to shoot at you now. And he goes, well, if I stop shooting at your Reinhardt is advancing for free. Like, that's what we're thinking.
Okay.
Oh, that's unhappy. Okay. Let's get this one going and see if we can give some more direct examples.
Because I feel like I'm really good in a select number of situations where it's like, I guess everything is like very properly organized, and they're like, very obvious, like here's core, some flankers are fighting each other, but when things start to deviate from that, it gets harder.
Yeah, you sort of understand, like, this is what I want, but there's a piece of the puzzle that's not causing it to fall into that situation often enough to get value. So we just have to go, hey, what's blocking it?
Yeah.
And it's probably a engagement timing thing. Okay. This is a little dicey. You're getting your weaves in here, which is good, but your team isn't like, okay. So you're getting your weaves in, which is good, but I can tell that your team is rotating, and you probably don't want to stay back here, right? Like you probably actually want to be up in this rotation. So like if we go back through this, okay, we're at a 5-second rewind. That's perfect. Here we are. Your team is going to push. Your team has now made clear that Reinhardt has more than made clear that he's pushing, and now he's put his shield up again, and you need to be advancing. Like, otherwise you're gonna get left behind by this, right? Like, they're going to go out of line of sight of you. Your Reinhardt's either going to push through here and you're going to lose him, or he's going to push around this corner and you're going to lose him. You can tell that your team pushed up as your Reinhardt the first time, there was just no way for you to keep up. But as he get across here with his shield again, you definitely wanted to take advantage of that, like your Ana was, to rotate with your team, to use your team as the cover to get in here, especially because you don't really know the comp yet. Like, you don't really know what you're playing into yet. They could have flankers, etc., that you don't know about. You want to be a part of this rotation. But let's go here. Okay. Fine. Shift. Team's not taking space quite how you'd like. Did you really need that? No, the answer to the question is no. Okay. The reload.
I thought it seemed like a good time. Like, everyone was pretty safe, relatively, for the moment.
Yeah, no, I understand why you thought, but unfortunately your Reinhardt was actually pushing, as you can see here.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. You're going for that. That's fine. So you need to swing around to make this useful, because the way to make this useful is to, of course, get over here to play this in the more standard way, and then potentially, eventually, to get up here. But let's see what you can do. Okay. You guys are sort of messing with each other here, you and Anna.
What do you mean messing with each other?
Just in each other's line of sights.
Oh,
Like, you
yeah.
both playing from right here, but it's just sort of like both of your shots are going to, you know, trigger on each other, which you don't really want.
Also, I have noticed, like, specifically as I've fallen,
Mm-hmm.
the number of players that play Ana is just so high. And there are so few people that play off healers.
Sort of. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Anna players because Anna's fun. There's also a lot of Anna's even more perhaps than usual because she's seeing Al play, which is justification to play her. But what you would look at there is, yeah, at lower ranks, they do tend to have a more healing is better. With more healing, we can just win approach because, let's face it, Lucio might be a better hero in a lot of these situations, but does your team really understand how to take advantage of speed, which is the best part of his kit? Is your team going to notice when you deliver things on a platter to them with boop? Like, it's sort of easier to just do massive amounts of healing to let your team out sustain. So,
yeah.
unfortunate.
I'm like a little disappointed in like almost every game when I see Ana as my other support. I'm like, oh, can I get like a Mercy, Lucio, just any form of, you know, assistance to my DPS to help get kills.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you're the form of assistance to your DPS right now. You know, you're the let me put out that damage. And Anna will give some assistance. She's gonna hit sleeps, nids, nanos. You know, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear you. So yeah, we'd have liked this, and you just hit a shift here, and you're not missing any health. Your Anna isn't missing any health. This was clearly for your tanks. Not amazing. It's what, like 75 healing for your Reinhardt? You heal a Rein now for 70 if you hit him directly, 50 if you don't. That's not a lot to be like, I used this cooldown for 75 healing for my Rein. It's a little better than that because it's still rolling the hot on all four of you, which, hey, they could take damage, so, like, that's not terrible. But again, we'd be liking to get ourselves over here. We don't want to be thinking, I need to play close so I can roll my hot on them. It's not that amazing. And you should be trying to swing back. Oh.
Alright, I think I do swing right
Good.
here.
Okay.
I don't trust that flank.
Mm-hmm. And they can't really pay attention to you. If you pop up here and you decide to, like, hey, I'm gonna shoot at you, if they look up and start shooting at you, your Reinhardt gets to advance. And if they do damage to you and you still had your shift, well, you can shift, you can drop and go back to doing this. Like, this is where you'd like to play right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In a second, you'll have shift. I think you just forgot. Good lamp.
I assumed he was going to flash ban her.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about the lamp. The lamp is fine. I was more worried about how long you were not using this shift for.
Oh, yeah.
My shots find them.
Hello. My head is almost Amplification matrix ready.
This isn't amazing. Okay, now you can go to the right. It's not great.
Hey.
You're not watching through the walls, and your Anna's the one pushing the cart. So this isn't really going to work. You're just sort of leaving, and you can see through walls how they're doing. So let's go back. This is fine. Except that you can see that they're still in combat here. Those guys aren't about to push you. They might try to hold the angle on you. But, like, we're going all the way back here?
I was kind of, well, I figured I better get out of there before things start to get really dicey. and I didn't want to push forward and like go that way to retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured I better do this now and go to the left here while they're still relatively okay, and then I can catch up on healing. Then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the problem that you run into here is these guys were never actually going to be able to push you. Like, they're a pretty ranged team. They've established that they're a pretty ranged team. They can potentially poke at you. They can walk towards you, but you'll have forever warning if they're coming towards you. Taking this in the first place was perhaps a little questionable, but choosing to then back off of it, these guys can't really get to you. There's no threat of them walking at you and getting to you. Your team is here. Yes, we've created a little bit of a situation where, hey, if my team holds this corner, I don't have the best way to heal them. And that is potentially a problem. Don't get me wrong, it is a problem that you can't heal them here. On the other hand, if you go back here, you can't shoot at the enemies. And that's also a problem.
yes,
So we can trade one problem for the other. Like, we can trade one problem for the other, but we're investing time to trade this one problem for the other, which we don't like. And, you know, if time goes on our side, eventually Anna is going to show up here and going to be able to heal while we can heal and shoot from here. Like, this isn't really great. You could go, this would have been a fine place to start, but given that you went and took over here with your Genji, there's really very little need, and you had no trouble sustaining here. You were never going to get punished here. Could McCree shoot at you? Absolutely, but you weren't really in a bunch of trouble. You have your shift if you do get shot at. No one's going to follow up and punish you for that, and you can do plenty here. You just have to time your aggressive peaks and your healing to when your tanks are aggressing, which you do have the ability to do. Like, this was okay. You did not need to drop this.
Okay, so wait, what do you think I should have done in the first place here? Or, like, going back from when we started pushing the payload?
Sure.
Where should I have gone?
Here we are.
Hey, amplification matrix ready.
I mean, they're making it hard. They're making it hard because they're so not aggressive here. But you can sit here until you figure out where they go. You can sit here because they're playing particularly passive, though you don't have great cover for this one. But you could do this. You can sit here while you wait. You couldn't stay here, but assuming that they do end up pushing up, you'll be able to. And the expectation is that they're ultimately going to go down this way, and you're either going to go, I'm playing behind them, I'm playing further behind them, or if they get actually aggressive, you can play from here, which is fine. But
Okay.
you don't necessarily know which they're going to do yet. I don't hate this because of what actually happened, which is your team took forever, so you went, I guess I'll support Genji, and I guess I'll shoot lanes with Genji. I don't want you to be first out here, but if your Genji's gonna be aggressive, you can support him. And he is.
Yeah. I think another problem I have is that I watch a lot of high-level play, and like you're coaching a lot, and so sometimes I expect the game to like go a certain way, and then it just doesn't.
Yeah, so you have to play to the reality. That doesn't mean that like the high level stuff is wrong or you can't do the high level stuff, but you do have to play into reality. And that does not mean you completely swap the play style, but it does mean you understand the why of the high level stuff to understand, well, I'm breaking this rule for this specific reason in this instance. Like, even though I know that I should be expecting that, even though I know I should be expecting my Tracer to go take this off angle, did my Tracer actually go take that off angle? Like, in this case, yes, they did. But, like, you actually, you can go, if you can get aggressive because someone took an off angle, and in normal play, they'd get aggressive because their person would take the off angle, and they don't take the off angle, well, it follows that you can't get that aggressive. Like, it is a chain of events. You do have to understand enough of it for it to work, but that's okay. Also, your Hog's plenty aggressive right here. Like, your Hog is aggressive enough right here for you to not have to retreat. He's now going to back up. There's the Kree and the Zen. Again, don't need to back off here.
Rendezvous at my position.
Regen up.
This is okay. This should be over. Now it's not over, and you're going to lamp this because your Genji is blading. Please don't stand here. Oh boy. That was almost very scary. I suppose it was scary. If it was any more, you'd be eliminated. There was no in between. Okay.
I'm kind of thinking like, oh, we're getting a limb, so this is becoming safer and safer.
Yeah, except that you were standing like there's a window right here that's theirs, and you're just standing in the window's face. Like you were just standing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm flipping out over. Like what I'm going at here is, hey, here's this. They don't really have the angle on you right now, even though the window threatens you. They can't really look at you. Sorry, I can look at you now.
Right click,
But now you're like standing right here, and like they definitely have the angle, and that's a fire strike, and any number of other things. Like I haven't tracked exactly where their respawns are in terms of can someone come back here, see me through this, etc. This is where it's getting scary.
Okay. I guess I pushed forward because I was like, oh, it's a Reinhardt. The window's not a threat, really, unless fire strike.
Which you dodge barely. Okay. Switch sides. Switch sides. Ask him to hold the corner for you. Literally tell him to push up and hold the corner while you hold this.
Yeah, my best games are ones where I can just kind of move my Rhind around with comms.
Okay.
Like a puppet.
Good. I recommend you rename your character to Puppet Master and then see if that still works. It won't.
We were planning a fire strike window here.
Okay. Who's counting it down? You or him?
I was.
Okay.
All better. For now.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Regen up.
Okay, you're gonna lamp that.
Get in here.
I didn't think I would get out, so I was trying to just get it a little.
Yeah, I got it. Kind of staggering our last fight, but okay. I get what you're trying for. You're trying for the elimination. I'm just saying, hey, we've been in this fight a long time for a fight that we've decided this is over and we haven't gotten eliminated yet.
Probably should have just stopped hitting the Genji and just gone for offense there.
My ultimate is charging. My ultimate is charging.
Daunted is a fan of you being a puppet master, it seems. Okay, you've got this.
Ultimate is ready.
You have to decide. He is going to turn the angle, which forces you in close.
Regen burst activated.
It's fine.
Our Genji said he had Blade there, so our Ana gave him Nano, and he did not in fact have Blade yet. It's really unfortunate.
I want to see how bad. Oh yeah.
Get in here.
Oh, he's real close.
Activated.
Yeah, he is close.
He's got a single dash.
Yep. Well, he dash was on cooldown. He used it already. It took him from like, that was how he got from 89 to 98 or whatever. With his previous dash in and work. Okay.
Now we don't have Nano Blade. We just have Blade.
It's okay. I believe.
Enemy contact. Clearing the area.
Fine. There's a Ryan for you to shoot at.
Let them up.
You go for your window, easy heals. Fine.
Move it out. That
Worked out.
It did.
My ultimate is charging.
Hey,
And dashes in with deflect.
What's that?
This man dashes in with deflect at less than half health.
Yes, he does. He believes in you. You hit him with the heal. You decide to go for another heal. You decide to go for a third heal. You see my objection, I'm sure.
Yes.
Fourth heal on the full health Genji.
you all look like you needed some healing.
Not amazing as a shift. These are here. These need to be gotten rid of. This is for your Reinhardt. This is because you think your Anna's going to take damage. You think your Zarya's going to take damage. Like you see, it's like I'm rolling my hot. That has some value, but you need nothing right now. And really, the only one who's actually missing
You all
health
look
is your
like you
Reinhardt.
needed some healing.
Okay, now Zarya's going to take some
Let's
damage.
keep it going.
That from my line.
Ultimate is ready.
What's that?
I don't think she meant to give me that bubble.
No, almost certainly not. Do you forget that this exists? I mean, you're playing right here, so you might as well be playing right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
And you should probably be swinging your way right as it makes sense, because right is going to give you the better angle for this, and you know that. In terms of,
Yeah.
hey, if I can get here, if I can get
Well,
here.
It's. I also didn't want to play in Hanzo's line of sight.
So that can be, a tough thing, and you can go, hey, I'm not going to do that. You can go, that's totally fine to go, I'm not going to play in Hanzo's line of sight. It definitely is something to be respected, Hanzo's line of sight, but now you're going to have to do some amount of, well, I'm going to be healing, double shoot Hanzo, go back to healing. Like, you're just going to have to do a little bit more of opening and closing angles, and you're not going to, like, take true sniper duels with Hanzo, but it becomes more of a pressure battle. Like, I'm heal botting, shoot. I'm heal botting for a while, I'm heal botting for a while, shoot, type thing.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
remember, he's going to have a tough time sustaining. Like, his supports aren't going to be paying a ton of attention to him. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Good. I have a hard time. My aim is not good, and
Yeah.
so like, I normally just don't have very good movement because that makes it that much harder to aim,
Okay.
and I kind of just like stand still when I feel that I can.
That would make you Hanzo bait, yeah.
Which leads me to just like wherever Hanzo is, just don't play where he can see me.
So your movement doesn't have to be amazing. It just has to be like, he will be shooting at my Reinhardt because my Reinhardt's been a target for ages, and I might not do this right behind my Zarya. I might be going, hey, I'm healing from here. I pop up here and take a quick shot, and then I'm back to healing. It might be, I'm healing from back here, healing from back here. I drop to the right and take my shot, and then close the angle again. You don't have to eliminate him. You just need to be putting pressure on their team. And if you put pressure on their tanks because the other Rhine is swinging into your Rhine, that's perfectly fine. But something that you'll learn about Overwatch is a little bit of, 50 damage into a Hanzo is more valuable than 50 damage into a Rhine. 70 damage into a Hanzo is going to make Hanzo play differently than if he's at full health. It's going to make him more passive. It's going to have him contribute to the fight less than if he was at full health. Whereas 70 damage into the Rhine, kind of. Like, it's going to take 3,000 damage plus to eliminate the Rhine between the heals he's going to get, the barrier, his health, all that. It's like, Whereas 70 damage into the Hanzo actually decreases his output.
Okay, so I don't always have to play where just like find. I don't have to like camp an angle where I can just shoot, heal. I can just like pepper a little bit of damage in there.
I mean, you would prefer to be able to camp something where you can just shoot, heal, but you have to respect the reality of, hey, my team doesn't have a diva that is pushing this Hanzo out and letting me play where I want to play. My team's Genji is not just constantly challenging this Hanzo. Like, you have to
Yeah.
respect that. Or you go, oh, I saw my Genji just went in. Now, even though my Reinhardt's at 60%, I'm going to peek and triple shot at that Hanzo, whether I miss them or not, before I go back to my Rein, because this is my moment. This is the time that the Hanzo definitely can't shoot at me.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. It's been nice.
Regen burst activated.
Unfortunate. I mean, you sort of saw what happened there. Yeah. This is a thing that you do. Oh, are they actually getting it? They are, okay.
Oh, I didn't even know they were in it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they dropped slightly out of line of sight afterwards.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Yeah. I was like, how did the boop do it? But no. Yeah, so no, it wasn't just you. They got caught in it too. So I understand why you put this here. It protects it better, but they needed it too, and I was worried that they wouldn't even get line of sight of it, but they did for most of it, just not enough. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, another problem I've had is the number of times where I go to throw my lamp from like a high ground and it hits a tree,
Yep.
or it like clips the edge that I'm standing on, and it just goes to me is I have lost many fights.
Yeah, some frisbee practice with BAP really can't help. Some like going out there, because it's a 25-second or whatever cooldown, so it's something that you don't actually use that often. So going into a custom game and just practicing throwing it around at different distances from different heights can be helpful, because you just don't get enough reps with it in games to learn at the speed that you'd like. So it hey, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes a week. I'm going to practice throwing my frisbee. Okay, cool. Because it's high impact. It's very high impact, but it is a skill shot. So
Yeah. Did you see your chat? Shock just went 0-3 to Dallas.
Interesting. Shock
Wow.
went 0-3 to Dallas. That is interesting. Well, I guess I know what game I'm reviewing on Tuesday. Like, they did look shaky. There's no questioning that the Shock looked shaky.
Dorado was something else.
I don't think Dallas have looked amazing enough to do that, but like, if Shock are shaky enough, it just means that, like, if Shock is, instead of performing at a 10 out of 10 level, has been performing somewhere between a 9 and a 6 level, yeah, showing me that Dallas showed up as a 7 isn't wild to me.
And the Shock might have just underestimated Dallas and gone, we got this.
I don't even know if it's an underestimation thing, but it could have been that, where I'm going, because I don't think the Shock are in underestimation mode right now. I think they're, I don't think underestimation mode is what the Shock are in right now. I think the Shock already took a bit of a punch on the chin from Houston and are in no, we're going to be serious mode. I think they are struggling to put it together. Like, I don't think I think their brawl looks okay, but it doesn't, like, their brawl looks good, but it doesn't look like world beater good like Season 2 Goats did for them and the Titans compared to everyone else. And I was really not impressed when I saw their secondary group that runs the double bubble stuff. That was okay one day and was really bad the other day. And when they brought that team in and made that team run brawl, it was also kind of shaky. So
yeah.
And Krusty was down talking them a little at the beginning before the season started. He, was talking about, like, people are overestimating us, and you want to talk it down a little bit as an expectation management thing, but it didn't seem like he felt they had it on lock.
Take your medicine.
Okay, you're here. You're going to change the angle because you don't want Hanzo to be able to shoot at you, but you can still see their Rhine. Like from here, you can shoot at their Rhine, you can shoot at your Rhine, okay, or from here, without their Hanzo being able to shoot at you. So don't open yourself to multiple threats when you can only shoot at one at a time. Or if you are going to be doing this, take a quick shot at the BAP to force that shift, and then, close the angle.
Got it.
Got you good and clean. Get in here.
Oh, there's one of them.
That was meant for there. Yep, I get it. Frisbee practice.
Get inside.
I will say the weaving, like in the Rhine v Rhine, just heal botting versus weaving damage in, it's like a difference of 3 swings from enemy Rhine before getting him to, like, preventing 3 swings by getting him to shield sooner.
Oh, it's
It
absolutely.
It is a massive difference.
Yep, I'm glad you can feel that. Pressure on the other Rhine from you is huge in what it does for shifting it. Absolutely.
Yes. Like, it's almost like budget Zen, really, with Discord. Like
Yes.
The enemy, Like the enemy Rhine gets Discord, and it's like, yeah, you better shield up.
Well, and that shouldn't be too wild, because what you noticed is, remember, Goats was run with a Zenyatta in spite of Zen's low healing, because the Discord was worth more than the healing in the Rhine matchup. So that BAP showed up wasn't, oh, well, BAP's greater healing. No, we always had Moira for that option in the Goats era. It was that he actually brings enough offense, plus the lamp, but he actually brings enough offense to be not as good as the Discord, but to his offense plus support make up for that. Yeah.
Why didn't he replace Zen?
Who replaced Zen? BAP?
BAP.
BAP effectively wasn't in the game for Goats.
Didn't he come in early 2019?
Let me think for a second. Early 2019? Did he come in early 2019? Could be. And let me think about when Goats ran. So Goats ran all throughout Season 2 of Owl, plus a bit before it, and then was hard broken just right before or at the end of the season. What's that?
Added in March 2019.
Okay. So let's think. We're in 2021, and this is Season 5, so 2020 would have been Season 3, and 2019... locked out. He would have been locked out for the competition for one stage would be my guess. And also it just takes people time to find that heroes are good to truly abuse them unless they're obnoxiously broken. Like Brig was figured out to be obnoxiously broken pretty quick, but Sigma, even early Sigma iterations were pretty darn powerful, and people didn't figure out how broken Sigma was. People didn't figure out how good Ball was. It tends to take time to sort of really get the reps for people to really break in these heroes, if that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, BAP has seen some changes since then. Like, BAP's window used to be very much personal sized, is now a freaking garage door. Things like that. Comments were on about charge right click through window. You did see a little, not really. Yeah. Roll lock hit the game September 1st. Yep, that was roll lock was between stage 3 and 4, Val, I want to say.
Let them up.
Okay, you've got your window. We should probably review your windows since we're talking about the garage door. Let's take a look here. So, here we are. You're throwing that down. You've lost your Reinhardt, but they're shattered, and you say, we're going to get this follow-up. I'm confident you can get that. Okay. I'm good with that.
I find that often the most effective windows are like when I can use it to secure like one elimination.
Yep.
Very easily.
Yep. I think that's perfectly fine here. Okay, so this angle is pretty wide open. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is me going, okay, we're winning. Let's be super aggressive.
Yeah. But there's just no reason for that. Like, you can heal your Zarya from here, and you can go, I heal my Zarya, and then you go, oh, I heal Zarya, I shoot that. oh, I heal Zarya, I shoot up there. Or I double, triple shoot up there, then close the angle and go back to healing Zarya. Like, that's more how we want to be thinking about this right now. We do want to get shots on these guys to put a little pressure on them, perhaps. Or we could just ignore them and go, hey, I'm going to heal my Zarya, shoot, I'm going to flip between these two targets, and if they open the angle, I'll close the angle further.
Got it.
Take your medicine.
60
Okay.
seconds. Огонь, подготовлен.
Ooh, not quite in time with your lamp there. You were trying to greed, I can see it. Not a big deal.
This will help.
Going down so fast there. Wait, did Ryan just not shield? How did the Hanzo get the shot on me?
I don't think it was just a Hanzo shot. I think you took a Zarya right click. So, here we are.
Take your medicine.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so he was trying to get the Zarya with the swing, and the Zarya did ultimately go down, so understandable.
This will help.
Hello. Group up with me. You're fully healed. Jean-Yves.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
So this is one of those times where you can open the angle pretty aggressively, because your Genji is going in and summoning Blade, right? So there's just no way that the opponents are going to be able to look at you. So you just open this angle like crazy and go, we're going to do stuff. Close the angle, close the angle. No, don't keep trying to muscle this. Okay, now you can fight him. Yeah.
Get in here.
Is this one of those situations where you said it felt better to go in close as opposed to stay outside? Is this sort of an example of that?
I think this kind of cascaded.
Okay.
So it starts with like hit play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hitting play.
So I'm thinking here like, okay, we have an advantage. We really need to try and like convert this into a fight win.
Okay.
And so I'm starting to get more aggressive. And I'm thinking like, I don't know, I need to do some damage on these guys.
Yeah, you've actually, I think, already done what you needed to. You see how Hanzo's got those sparkles? That should mean that, yeah, shift has already been used, and shift is still ticking. So you're actually sort of now in the moment of, you've already done what you needed to. Because as a DPS, because you're now playing BAP, so you're a DPS, you think about the game sometimes in terms of forcing cooldowns. You've already forced shift. You don't really want to try and overpower the shift. That would just take too much effort. You're like, yep, shift is ticking. I'll come back later. We got shift. I'll check back on you guys later and actually try to get the elimination then. Or maybe I'll check back later and try to get Lamp. Or try to get Hanzo to leap away or something like that. But I already got shift. I'm done with you guys. I'm going to go back to doing something safer, is sort of how you'd usually think about this. If you had more teammates up there, if you had your Genji up there fighting them, sure. But right now, you're like, force the cooldown, did my job.
Got it. Like how a Tracer can force a cooldown, go hide, wait it out, and then come back and finish them off.
If Tracer, fights you with 2-3 blinks in your BAP and spends some of her health and gets your lamp out and then leaves, Tracer won that fight hands down. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Now, it's still better that you lamp to save yourself than actually get eliminated, but, like, Tracer won that fight hands down.
So here I go. Okay, my tanks need my help because they're pushing up. Let me give them lamp while I take care of these guys here. Because I'm not going to be able to help my tanks while I'm occupied with this.
Okay, so I'm good with actually the lamp here. I'm good with this. I'm not sure I'd go up to fight this Hanzo, especially this Hanzo that is storm arrowing. Like, this Hanzo is storm arrowing. I don't want to fight this.
Yeah.
You can very much go bind court, and you can't really stay back here anymore. You could potentially be playing from here, but this isn't where you are. You're here.
But then also in that far place, I feel like I'm too far where I would have the same problem as last time, where I need to have more mobile positioning and be ready for my Rhine to push around this.
I don't think your Rhine can push around this corner, because if your Rhine pushes around this corner, it's not a you can't keep him up thing. It's a your team can't win the fight. If your Rhine goes around this corner, when your Ashe is here and your Zarya is here, and you're either here or here, you guys are going to lose the fight. You follow what I'm saying? Like, your Zarya and your Ashe can't support that well enough. So, like, even though it's like, hey, I can't support my Rhine if my Rhine goes around the corner, and I'll be able to catch him faster from here if he goes around the corner. That's true, but your Ashe is going to be irrelevant to the fight. Your Zarya is going to be less relevant to the fight. Like, your Rhine is also just going to be eliminated. Like, there's an enemy. Sorry, I'm painting with arrows that you can't see. There's two things here. There's two things here. There's something up here. Like, your Rhine can't go take this space. There's just no way for your Rhine to round this corner without feeding, whether you heal him or not, because the angles haven't been cleared yet. Like, there's a Zarya here, a Hanzo up here, enemies up here. Like, the Zarya and or the Hanzo would have to be cleared for your Rhine to be able to round this corner.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, like, if he does, you're not going to be able to save him. Like, you're not going to be able to save him. It's true if you were back here, but you're also not likely to be able to get to him. Like, you get to him and get to here and are safely able to heal him maybe 25% of the time if there's a Hanzo up here and a Zarya here. Like, this is how it works, where Reinhardt can't push into a concave like this. The concave has to be cleared. And if he does, you just sort of go, I couldn't heal you through that. I couldn't heal you through that even with a window. Like, it's just not happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're using this, and we'll call this right. Then you sort of back out, and that's a little more weird to me that you're backing out here, given the danger that you knew was up there. If you now know that that's cleared, that's one thing. I'm not sure you do. But maybe if you know it's cleared, you hop up here and do your work from here a little, because, you know, you're at this window. You can use that. You can do that.
And it has devolved into this point where I'm so close to the fight now that I'm just like, okay, just be right behind Ryan now. And
I understand. And it did devolve to that, and we saw how it devolved to that, but that was a thing where, how do I want to phrase this? It devolved to that. It's okay. It devolved to that. I think what we're actually seeing, what we're actually piecing together that's going to help you is understanding you don't need 6 targets. You don't need 4 enemies that you can shoot at. You need 1. And it's okay to go, if the enemies are threatening enough that you can't keep enemies to shoot at on your screen, it's okay to peek to get them onto your screen. It doesn't have to be like you're weaving 100% of the time, though you'd love to be. If that's simply not viable, you go, I'm healing my Rhine, or I'm healing my Rhine and weaving against the other Rhine, and then I open the angle to peek at the Hanzo. I open the angle to peek at the Ashe. I open the angle to peek at the McCree, or to peek at the other BAP, until my Rhine does something distracting enough that he's going to have eyeballs stuck on him. Or my Genji does something distracting enough that he'll have eyeballs stuck on him. I think with that, we're going to see some improvements. High Temporal, can I ask you something? What about the impact that you can do in a game as main support? I think the role is a little bit underrated. You can make a bad team at least look decent. I mean, the role might be underrated, but the role isn't underrated by me, and I don't think the role is underrated by Nardstorm here either. I think Nardstorm will tell you that main support's going to have an impact. Why don't you tackle that one?
Please, I want more in my game. I mean, if we could include Zen in this, because
he's a flex support, for sure.
But he is an off healer that provides a lot of utility, like most of the main support. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to struggle a little bit with that. Yes, the flex supports. I mean, like, yes, I suppose if you're thinking about who have the most influential abilities, you'd be thinking about, let me think for a second. You would be thinking about your Discord, you'd be thinking about your speed amp, you would be thinking about your
Damage boost and res.
yeah.
Break
I
existing.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think I would just limit it to main support, where I'd think about our Mercy, our Lucio, this is mostly just me thinking our Brig and our BAP, just because BAP can fit in either. Just because I think that tackles the question. You're splitting main healer and off healer, and I do get what you're saying. A lot of the off healers carry heavy utility in hey Transcendence and Beat, hey Speed Amp and Discord. Like yes, those are great.
Mhm.
But I don't think either of us I think everyone who seriously thinks about the game is like, hey, extreme pocket ability is pretty darn good. It's just judging who and when to pocket and understanding that it's not always about pocketing one person. So I guess pocketing stops being the right term, but like Mercy has a lot of impact. If you aren't getting things done, you're just picking the wrong targets. You're not actually noticing what DPS's timing looks like. Lucio speed. Go ahead.
Well, to answer the question, like I had a game the other day on Anubis,
Mhm.
I think yesterday, where my Ryan was just feeding over and over,
Mhm.
and he was the only one not in voice, and so I said, "Hey, can you play Lucio instead of Ana?" And I told my DPS to switch to Brawl DPS,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, "Okay, guys, they don't have a main tank; they have Diva Zarya, so we're gonna force them to fight our Ryan, and then we'll win." And we just speed our Ryan into them, and we all just do what we can to enable our Ryan. And so
Absolutely.
just like having the Lucio and just being able to enable him to feed and
Yeah,
keeping
Lucio
him
does
up for feeding.
so much for Ryan. It's amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we
Lucio's
almost won that until they had 6 ultimates at the end. But
well, minor detail. Minor detail.
yeah. But we
Yeah.
went from like getting stomped to like, okay, it looks like we're gonna win this game now.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's a good example where you can go, hey, the main support, I mean, whether it's Mercy boosting an Ashe, whether it's Lucio boosting a Reinhardt, exactly.
Let me show you how it's done.
5,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Attackers
Weak link
incoming.
becomes the strong link pog.
Defend objective
Exactly.
A. Heal up.
Okay, so you're playing from here, fine. Maybe a little slow in the weaving to start, but hey, you're getting it done. You do lamp that. Mm-hmm. Okay, stream, come on. There we go.
Hey.
And if it didn't take Ana so long to get up here, this would be a great position for her too.
Yeah. It can be. The problem is, you don't know exactly where the team fight's gonna take, and you get to move while she doesn't.
Get in here.
Okay, so you threw your lamp down there for her. I wonder
I've
if it
gotta
actually
rotate.
deployed. Yeah, I know you've got to rotate, and you're hoping that that'll let her heal while you shift. You're not gonna shift. Okay.
Regen up.
I would recommend you hit your shift more easily than you do. Like, you taking meaningful damage is plenty good enough reason to shift. You don't need to hold it until you find a better shift where you heal other people. Remember, your shift heals you for twice as much as it heals other people for. So, like, abuse that. Like, here, you took damage. Your Ana's definitely not going to heal you. Your shift should be here, not once you've gotten to here. Like, you weren't like, oh, well, I might find a chance to shift something else. No, get the cooldown rolling, get your health back. You lost too much. It's important. And we've talked about you are going to play differently when you have full health versus when you're under pressure. Okay, here you are.
I saw my Ryan and I was like, okay,
You wanna
maybe we're
heal him.
still in this fight,
Yeah.
but he went back.
Well, it actually would have been a big deal if you'd actually just stayed on left clicks on this Reinhardt. You probably did get the elimination. I saw you mixed a couple right clicks in there. If you just stayed on left clicks, you potentially get this elimination, and that denies their team 450 ult charge of healing. So that would be a pretty big deal.
Okay. Rip Sombra.
Objective lost.
Hey,
Stop the payload.
over here. Group up with me. Regen burst activated.
Again, not amazing as a shift, but okay. Okay, you're gonna wait a second, then you're gonna win with window.
It's
Let
better.
them
It's
up.
at least like when someone's missing health now.
Yes,
Or,
yes,
like,
your shifts
about
are better.
damage.
I agree, your shifts are better. Oh, that sucks.
I kind of expected them to go, oh no, we just wait this out and we hide, but
I mean, that's fine, even if they had done that. Well, you expected them to after you got eliminations, you're saying?
I expected them to see the window and go, nope, we just wait that out. and we
Oh,
hide."
yeah, but the thing is, they were pushed in far enough. Here, I'll show you. You have to respect how powerful the window is. So, here we are.
Let them up.
Yes, they should back out of this. Except that their Zarya's already here. And, like, 2 squishies are already here. Unfortunately for them, it's actually a meaningful amount of time to get from here to here, especially when you guys have already taken out their Lucio. So their rotations are slower. Like, you've already taken out their Lucio. This, yes, it'd be better if you waited until they were a little further forward, sure. But this is reasonably solid. You could wait until they push in a little bit further, but I was reasonably confident you were going to get at least one elimination out of this window.
Yeah. Should I have put the lamp up around the corner here?
Not necessarily, because there's too much threat that they will just not push your window. This is a little silly, like that. That this happened is a little bit like, okay, this guy is just chancing. Like, this guy is risking peeking into a window against a BAP and a McCree and a Roadhog, like, and an Anna. He's risking peeking into a window against a team that has a shield. Like,
So my
really?
thinking was reasonable that they shouldn't peek this. that I
Correct,
could get
correct.
aggressive here. Okay.
Yes. And if we actually watch what happened here we are.
Let them up.
I'm unclear, like, why you're actually able to go down here. And what I mean by that is your Reinhardt has already thrown his Fire Strike. This shield is up. I'm unclear on what this is. Okay.
What is that?
What's that?
What is he swinging at there?
I mean, yes, I don't mind if he goes and charges his shield again, but, like, you know, it's your window. Protect your window.
Yeah.
I'm not telling Ryan to generally be a fire platform, guys, but, like, come on, it's your window. Okay, and Harry Larry is just taking out the supports.
Kishoye.
On Mercy, it's a lot.
Over here.
It's a lot easier to play around snipers
Yeah, I mean,
because I can still contribute without being in the line of sight.
yes, I agree. Now you have to judge, you have to get an understanding that you didn't need before of when are those snipers going to be looking somewhere else so I can put a little pressure on them. Like, you have to be much more aware of that as BAP than you did as Mercy.
Yeah.
Not as good as you.
I feel like I look so dumb when someone's waiting for me to heal them up, and then they just move slightly, and so I'm missing these shots here.
Yeah, my actual objection is even bothering to heal him up. And what I mean by that is, here you are. Okay, there's your Sombra. I mean, I don't know about you, but in my mind, your Sombra's in more danger than your Kree. Your Kree's choosing to make this dangerous for himself.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
I shot the one at her.
you did.
EMP activate.
Okay, beautiful. Transition up to your high ground. Good. Sure.
I'm much more liberal with that towards the end of fights.
Yep.
All better.
Always leave yourself.
Group up with me. Over here. Group up with me.
Okay. I don't necessarily like this. I'm worried you're gonna get split.
You're fully healed.
Yep, I had that worry too.
Good.
So I moved while I could.
You moved yourself up to here while you could? Is that what you said?
I forget where I go from here.
Okay.
Here.
You need to practice these lamps so bad. Okay, just go to cart. You're done.
You all look like you needed some healing.
Yeah, so the cart's moving too much. It really is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so this is really bad actually because the cart checked before you got eliminated, and there's sort of a mandatory time where gates close, where this goes down after checkpoints generally, before the cart will before the cart will start moving again, and you need to make sure that you're eliminated before that happens so that you get the like 2-3 seconds it takes for a gate to open, a barrier to lower, any of that are happening while you're waiting away spawn tick time. Like, it's really important. So I get that you were like trying to force out the trade on the McCree here, and you've tried to do that a couple times now, but you need to just go, I might try and force out the trade on the McCree, but I'm doing it while getting to the cart. So even though I'm stopping the cart 0.2 meters, it's there. But remember, the cart was really back here when the fight was lost, and I think you wrote off this fight. And that's a lot of time, cart time, that they've got, and they're going to get some of the barrier time before you're in spawn. So like this means the difference there is like instead of the cart being here when you're back, well, the cart is going to be somewhere in the yellow box of victory. So that's a pretty big difference in terms of time, and it's not the first time this match you've done this. Levy is upset that you didn't just window frag the whole team.
Sometimes try that, and doesn't work out.
Unfortunate.
Hello.
You have to deal with the response for that.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Okay.
Fully healed. Get in here.
Don't necessarily want that open while the storm arrow is active. Okay. Okay.
Victor.
This exists. You work your way up here. You can shoot from here and have this angle. You can back up and have the angle. You can open the angle on the Hanzo once storm arrow is over. Like you have options. You did want to hop your way up here. But the things for you to work on, I think we've really hit them already. The things that you're going to end up working on. I don't know why I have this chain in the middle of my screen. Okay. The things that you're, jumping out at us obvious are going to be, hey, we do want you to have this better understanding of how to contribute to the fight without risking your own life the same way, which is going to be understanding the engagement timing or understanding the peak timing. Like the widow is going to be distracted. The Hanzo is going to be distracted. My Genji just went in. My Rein is swinging. The Reins have been swinging at each other for a bit. I can swing and open the angle a little bit to take a shot at the Hanzo and then go back to just shooting at the two Reins. Or if I can shoot at the two Reins, that's fine. If I can only shoot at my Rein, that's less fine. And so I'll find windows, not full time, but maybe 20% of the time I'll open the angle and take shots at the Hanzo or take shots at whoever's there just to get a little more pressure in. And by doing that, I'll force them down, I'll force them back, which will then let me get to a point of the fight where I can keep an angle open to be able to shoot 60% of the time, or whatever the case may be. So like there's that transition is going to be the thing that I think is going to make BAP feel better. Yes, we want you to be able to weave. We want you to play to weave with BAP. That is how the hero works. That is absolutely what we're doing. If you're finding your Reinhardt is in a lot of poke situations, you're up against poke teams, and you don't have a barrier to play behind yourself because you're trying to force a corner, this is mostly an issue for you when you're trying to push into space that is already being held. It's going to be a game of, okay, I'll peek this to put a little pressure on someone and then go back to keeping the angle closed on this. Peek this to put a little pressure on them, do this, and that will cause them to surrender some of the space so that I can then take my more aggressive space.
Okay.
Your shift is
So
going to help with
not-
that, but yeah, go ahead.
Not always elims, sometimes just pressure.
Right, pressure is how you take space. Pressure leads to space. Pressure leads to space. Space leads to positioning. Positioning leads to eliminations. Eliminations lead to team fights. Team fights leads to wins. Wins are SR. SR leads to GM. There you go. See, there you did it. You did
GM
it.
leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
That could fit in Overwatch. Okay. So that's the first thing that we're going to say. The second thing is just put the reps in. Put the reps in on your lamp 10 minutes a week. Just go in there, delete the cooldown on it, and just jump around throwing lamps at different distances from different heights, trying to throw it up hills, trying to throw it down hills, trying to throw it while you're in the air. Like, practice throwing your lamps, and go put a spray on the ground and try to go hit that spray type stuff. Like, have things in mind. It doesn't have to be a spray, but don't be like, I'm trying to generically hit it there. Like, be like, no, I'm actually trying to put it right there with these.
Okay.
So that is going to help. And then the third thing was important. Why am I forgetting this? We talked about that. Oh, cart management. You got to manage the cart better, man. Like this, you got to just be like, no, the cart cannot. The fight is lost here. I know the fight is lost here. It would take me less than a second to touch the cart, and the cart is going to check before I actually touch. Totally, it's not wrong to go, I'm going to try to trade someone out because I'm eliminated, but you have to be working your way to the cart as you're doing so, and if the cart's about to check, you just have to hard throw yourself at the cart before that, because otherwise, yes, it's a little bit of a win back to get someone eliminated, but his win back, even if you got him, was going to be way bigger in the cart distance that they got there, and same thing earlier in the map. So those are the three things. If we had a fourth, it would be your shift. But the three things we're actually going to give you are do your reps with the lamp, understand how to sort of put the pressure to earn the space more slowly. You don't need 5 enemies on your screen. 1 is plenty. If you can only get one enemy on your screen 30% of the time, because that's the only thing that you can safely do it. But that should lead to you getting one enemy on your screen 60% of the time, 70% of the time, etc. The pressure to get them off, etc., and then the cart management. So those are the three things. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to know more than that?
No, that's very helpful. I guess against like Doomfist specifically, that is one of those matchups where I've found that just like Rhine is my safety.
Okay. I'm not sure I agree. Your safety is actually height. Doomfist struggles a lot when he can't get above you. If Doomfist can't get above you, he sort of gets stuck playing Punchbot. And if he gets stuck playing Punchbot, his job is harder. So, like, if you can stay above him, he really struggles. The two things that make Doomfist struggle the most are he can't get above his target, and he's been chipped down on health before he gets in. Wait a second. You can get above him real easy, and you are one of the people who does a very good job of chipping people down before they get in, much better than like an Ana. Wait a second. And for his punch, unless he uppercuts you into the air and then punches you in the air before your fall, your lamp can protect against a punch. So if you see a Doomfist try to all in, where they slam, uppercut, and then after someone's fallen, rather than trying to punch out, try to punch, you can generally deploy lamps for those, because the Doomfist will be traded out if you slam uppercutted in first. So you were actually one of the better supports for fighting him, and I would not say your solution is get close to your Reinhardt. I also would say your solution is even more get up high and be paying attention to the map. Like, get up high. If you're right here, how's the Doomfist gonna sneak up on you? You see what I'm saying? Like, where's the Doomfist gonna come from? You're gonna have all the time in the
Unless there's
world to
some-
chip them down. Go ahead.
Yeah, unless there's some diagonal punch that I don't know about for King's Row here.
Right, right. Unless he's just like, well, let me just slam, punch, uppercut. No, I'm kidding, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, what he does is he drops down,
Mhm.
drops down underneath the floor, punches forward to get some horizontal distance,
Uppercut.
ults,
Oh yeah,
and then gets on top of me there. That's how
yeah.
he
There
does
you go.
it.
There you go. If he has to use his ult, you consider it a win. Okay.
Okay, cool.
I think we're good to go then. Good
Yeah.
luck on your BAP work. I hope we've stopped the bleeding, and I get to hear about how you've turned it around. Not all the way necessarily, but turned it around a little bit, and now it's starting in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
I think this aggression bit will probably be the last. Is the last major leaking hole to like.
I think that's right, based on what we were seeing here. Yeah.
Because it's just because like I just have not been able to figure out how to like survive and then
Right. You're in this. I heal
Not
bot,
heal
and then it doesn't do enough, or I contribute, and then I get pushed out too hard, and you
Yeah.
haven't figured out how to earn your way into the fight yet, which
Mhm.
I think we've now done.
Yes,
Great.
yes,
Great.
awesome. I'll see you
Okay.
next time.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon. Bye.